Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and most honored guests.
Good evening.
January 2014, I embarked on the greatest adventure, and yet the most frightening adventure of my life. I left San Diego, California, a place that I had known for 14 years, and I had spent the past 3.5 years in going to Southwestern College, to enrich my education as a university student. So instead of going to like USD or SDSU or one of those colleges, they're all good colleges, don't get me wrong, I chose Chico State. Originally, not for what I intended. I originally went there for their journalism program. I wanted to continue my studies in journalism, but yet I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it all summer long. I thought about my past experiences with journalism at Southwestern, and I decided I don't want to do this. I don't want to have any part of this. You know, journalism's great for some people, but it's just not my thing. So I decided to go into English education and be a teacher. Here's the scary part about this whole adventure. It was my first time living on my own. I've never lived on my own before in my life. My grandparents have practically babysat me for the past 4 years, taking me places and cooking my food and washing my clothes and da-da-da-da-da-da. And I haven't had the chance to do any of it. And I wasn't quite sure how to do everything either. I mean, I've seen them cook, I've seen them wash clothes and stuff, but I've never done any of it before. It was all new to me. So, I wanted to take the leap of faith, and I did. I went up to Chico, I arrived in January, and I was very nervous and scared because I was going to be around other people my age whom I've never seen before. I was going to be in a different city, much smaller city than here. And I was going to be around a different class of people. Chico is not as diverse as here. There is mostly white people. So to me, it was like being back in North Dakota again, especially with the landscape the way it was, because Chico's a very flat city. You don't have to go up and down any hills. So, yay for the people who bike, because they can just keep on going and not stop. So, anyway, I got up to Chico, checked into my room, I got all my things settled in. First day classes came, I was so nervous and so scared I did not know what to expect. I ended up getting lost on campus. I had no idea where I was. I had no idea where any of my classes were. So I just started running around random buildings just to look at the signs out front, because all the buildings have like signs in the front. So I ran to every single building on the whole campus to try to find out where is my first class. I was late for class for about an hour. I walked into class, half the class was over. I told the teacher, "I'm very sorry. I am new here and I am lost. I have no idea where I am or where I'm going." He said, "Well, you're in the right place. Sit down." So I said, okay. So, first day was hectic, terrible. Second day, not so bad. Second week, not so bad either. Got to meet a lot of interesting people up in Chico. As I mentioned, there isn't much diversity, but there is some. I met a kid who's half Russian, half Vietnamese. Kid speaks fluent Russian, some Vietnamese, some English, and some German. That amazed me. I've never met a kid in my life that spoke so many languages. And he was just the most interesting kid in the world. I mean, he was telling me all about Russia and about what things are like over there, and it was completely new to me because I didn't know about any of that stuff. I've never been to Russia. So I proceeded to make other friends. I made a friend from India. Very nice kid. Interesting kid. Very philosophical. Every single word out of this kid's mouth is a question, though. It kind of drives me nuts. He does it to me on Facebook, too, not just in real life. He'll ask me questions like, what's the meaning of life? And why are we here? And why does God make us suffer the way we do? And I was like, you know, dude, I don't know. You're asking the wrong person. What religion are you? Oh, I'm Muslim. Okay, cool. Why don't you go and ask your religious leader? They should know. They're supposed to be the experts. I'm Catholic. I can give you my viewpoint on stuff, but it necessarily doesn't coincide with your viewpoint on stuff. So anyway, made a lot of friends, a lot of interesting friends. Kept on going with Toastmasters, by the way. I joined Chico Toastmasters the second week I was in town. Got to meet a lot of interesting people in our club. Really a lot of interesting people. I mean, we have one person in our club who's a psychic medium, another person who's a salesman, one other person who's a hypnotist, and I can't wait for him to show some of his stuff off, especially the medium, too. She brought in some tarot cards once and gave a speech. Really interesting person. Fascinating stuff. And I made another big change in my life. Around 3 or 4 weeks after I was at Chico, I decided to pick a minor. I had no idea what I wanted to minor in. I was like, you know, I mean, yeah, I love English, I love journalism, I love geography, I love rocks, I love languages. What do I minor in? And you know, I was just stuck. I was lost. I didn't know what to minor in. So, I decided to minor in theater arts. My grandparents think I'm insane. What do you want to minor in theater arts for? What, are you going to become some big Hollywood actor or something? No, I'm not. I want to teach drama to kids. That's why I'm doing it. Oh, and in case you're wondering about these books, these are some of the books that I had to read. Wow. This is a Shakespeare anthology. Anyone want to take a guess as to how many pages is in just one of these books?
2,050.
Try well over 1,000 pages. This book is another 1,000 pages. I had to read the whole 2 books of these all in 16 weeks. I'll pass them around so you all can take a look.
Wow.
Had a couple bad experiences in Chico. A couple of weeks after I was there, I got lost. Right in the middle of nowhere. I was walking home from the mall. Didn't realize that the bus stopped at 8 o'clock. It was around 8:30. I was waiting for the bus and I was like, okay, this bus has got to be coming. It's got to be coming. It's got to be coming. Please come and pick me up and take me home. I really don't want to have to pay for a taxi cab. And the bus never came. So I started walking down the street, hoping that I might find somebody because I didn't know the number of the taxi cab. So, walked along, saw 2 not Jehovah's Witnesses, but they were Mormons. Not that I have anything against them, but I found it rather interesting that they were riding bicycles and dressed in suits, and this was like 9 o'clock at night. Where are they going? But I never found out. Anyway, I asked them, can you please call a cab for me? Please, 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 I need to get back to my apartment. I am lost. I do not know where I am. So, they called a cab for me. Cab came, picked me up. Lesson learned, know the bus schedule, and don't ever get lost. I've also made a couple of other mistakes. Apparently, I'm not the best cook in the world. I've burned stuff up there. The fire department has had to come because smoke is up in the air, setting off the smoke alarm, setting off the fire alarm, and the whole building was just going nuts because I set the fire alarm off through my cooking. So yeah, I made a couple of mistakes and I've done, you know, some good things, and there's just so many experiences to count it isn't even funny. But hopefully I provided you with some of them tonight. And maybe I'll talk about some more of them with you all later. I hope I get to do this again. This was really nice. Thank you.